And back to the local government elections that was held in Rivers State. We now have our guest joining us, a political analyst, Godswill Jumbo. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Pleasure being with you again.
All right, let me start by asking, what are your thoughts regarding the intrigue surrounding this election, of course, Rivers State local council elections?
For me, I hardly see any intrigue. I just see a state chief executive in Nigeria who is committed, who is passionate, who is determined, who is positively disposed to complying with extant regulations. You know, the apex court in the land has obliged the federal government by, passing a judgment that all revenue accruing to the people of Nigeria through their various local governments should now be, warehoused, directly to them. But that should be within the context of legality, within the context of common sense and probity and accountability and all of that. And for that to happen, there has to be elected governments at the grassroots. No more caretaker, no more interim, no more whatever. Avenues through which some state chief executives have used to siphon, public funds. So now they've been mandated that within 3 months of that judgment, all states that do not have elected, governments at the local level should immediately conduct elections within 3 months. And we have seen the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, who is a titled citizen of my community, the Bani people of Rivers State, that is Boni and Opopo. We've seen that very serious commitment on his part to beat all kinds of obstacles, scale all kinds of hurdles, as they say, cross 7 rivers and climb 7 mountains to make sure that this happens. And this has happened yesterday.
Mr. Jumbo,
the people of Rivers State.
Yes, if I may, Mr. Jumbo, yes, indeed, election, local council election has come and gone, but then the APP sweeping 22 out of 23 seats. I mean, were you surprised the other parties had nothing, to take home? Did this come to you as a surprise, or you were expecting this?
No, I'm not surprised. You know why I'm not surprised? Because politics in Rivers State is people-driven. Forget the manipulation, forget the bribery, forget the funny things that government officials do with staff of electoral bodies in Rivers State. Politics in Rivers State is grassroots-driven, people-driven. The people, when they decide that this is where they want to go, they just go. In 1993, what was the party? Ada George won. It was not PDP. It was, I think, SDP, Social Democratic Party. And Ada George won. You come to 1999, PDP, the people voted en masse for Odili. You get. It came to even 2015, the people voted APC, and then all kind of manipulations. Even last year's election, forget all the funny things. We are journalists. We are on the streets. We are on the streets with the people. Even the then governor had to go meet the Igbo community at Ikoku, and he said it on record that Obi won the election in Rivers State.
Okay, talking about
politics in Rivers State is people-driven. So the people saw the candidates of the APC, and they felt these are the right candidates within their context. That has nothing to do with the governor. It was at the local level. Now, so it's like, the next person, his family, everything about him, and you think this is the best person. Like in Boni, the woman who contested, Anengi Claude Wilcox, she overran every polling unit. She won one by one, every polling unit, and it's a landslide. So that's what we're taking. We're saying, keep all the police, keep all the manipulation aside, give the people the opportunity, they will speak with their votes.
Mr. Jumbo, now, Looking at this
Yes.
election now, what do you think this will signify for the power play or setup in Rivers State going forward?
Well, the dynamics have changed. Quickly, the dynamics have changed. Everybody has been put on alert now that if you keep the manipulation aside, we were on the streets. In fact, for Bonny, where I was yesterday, it was raining and people came out under the rain to get their materials to line up to vote under the rain. They didn't bother. Nobody gave them money. I mean, by the way, will somebody give you money to go and stand under the rain? Think about it. People travel to the hinterland, the various villages and communities to go and vote. So the dynamics have changed. The people have spoken. Now that give us the opportunity, we will speak our mind. That is what has happened. Now, for the political leaders, what does that say for them? What is the connotation there? It is that you have to reinvent yourself. You have to re-strategize. How do you convince the people to vote for you to make this? What if on the next general election, the rain falls like it fell in Rivers State yesterday? Will people come out to vote for you? Yesterday, the people voted under the rain. You understand? So now the leaders have to ask themselves, if I want to contest, how good will I be that people can actually come out and express themselves? Mind you, there was no ballot snatching anywhere, no intimidation, no violence in any of the 23 LGS in Rivers State. The election went on peacefully. People were patient. In some places, voting materials, because of the rain and the terrain, of getting the materials to the polling unit, it got there about 12:01. People were patiently waiting from as early as 7 a.m. So the dynamics have changed. That is one. Two, it's the people of Rivers State have also told clearly the rest of Nigeria that we actually do not need security personnel around voting environments. They conducted themselves peacefully. They were told to queue up. They queued up, and then they voted. You understand? So the dynamics have changed. Imagine that a whole Nigeria police force was nowhere around any of the polling 3,686 polling units in Rivers State, and there was no policeman anywhere. And the people voted. People voted. You can see under the rain they were dancing, and from there they marched to their polling units and they voted. So the dynamics have changed. The people have spoken. And thirdly, before I round up on that one, it is to tell you how much yearning, how much desire, how much passion the people have for good governance to be entrenched in the grassroots. People want this to happen. They want elected governments that they can hold accountable. They want the funds coming to their local governments to come in such a way that
Mr.
they
Jumbo,
can decide
just
what happens with it.
Yes,
that is what has happened now.
There, Mr.
And
Jumbo.
very clearly.
Just very quickly, try to answer as brief as possible. We understand the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has today sworn in the council chairman. What do you foresee, going forward? Do you foresee post-election litigation or not?
I would be surprised if there are post-election litigations. What will be the rest? What will be the subject matter of the litigations? The people that were voted, people know them. For instance, my own ward, our family, our kindred, they know who they were voting. The same thing in all the local governments. So the person that will be going to court, what will the person be challenging? Will the person say the election was rigged? Because everybody was there. The polling units are in front of family houses, community centers. Everybody knew who was contesting for what. The councillors, the local government chairman, candidates, and all of that. So what will be contested? Will you say ballot boxes were snatched? Will you say the ballot papers were not complete? Will you say the result you had was different from what was announced in your polling units? What would you say? You understand? The election officials were drawn from the communities. Like everybody knew everybody. You could see your cousin there. You could see your uncle. You could see an aunt. You can see a nephew like that. So what would anybody go to court to go and challenge? Will they say the governor did the wrong thing to contest the election? Well, we do not also rule out the mischief, the irrelevant mischief. We don't rule that out. So we will expect that maybe from Monday, some mischief makers, some enemies of the state, some people who are not patriotic, it's not there in their nature, it's not
Mr.
there in their
Jumbo,
sensibilities. They
Mr.
may still go
Jumbo,
to court. By the way,
Mr. Jumbo,
the
we'll keep
judiciary
our
has made
fingers
itself
crossed
very.
regarding any post-election litigations or not following the local government elections in Rivers State. Well, thank you so much for your insight on the news. Godswill Jumbo, political analyst. Many thanks indeed.